Fans and lovers, welcome to the Jimpressions for The Evil Within 2, which, as it so happens, is the sequel to The Evil Within. Now, The Evil Within 2 asks us the question, what if Total Recall was zombies? And the answer is a pretty decent survival horror game. Immediately better than the first one. Now, I reviewed the first one when it came out years back, and I gave it an okay review. I said, yeah, it's got some good stuff, it's got some really janky stuff, and when I look back on it retrospectively, I think I was a little more generous to it than I should have been. In looking back, I really wasn't all that fond of The Evil Within, and I really wanted to like it. I really wanted a good, quality survival horror game, and it had some really great presentation, really good character design, especially with some of the big enemies, but it was really janky, and I don't know what I'm doing there. It was really janky and felt very dated. The cutscenes looked sort of very last gen, washed out. The acting was laughable. And the voice acting in this one isn't fantastic. It's still got a sort of cheesy old survival horror vibe to it, but it's that good side of cheese, not the bad old cheese. Like the cheese that my dad used to eat that would make his face turn red. He'd eat this really hot, spicy cheese. It wasn't very good. But The Evil Within 2, remarkably better than the first one, I personally feel. I know the first one has its fans, so I don't want to take that away from anyone. If you liked The Evil Within, good on you, well done you, thumbs up, hope you keep enjoying it. But for me personally, I really dig this one, and I'm thrilled because I always thought the first one had a ton of potential. It's just that it needed to be better. And so this is The Evil Within, but better, which is just good for everybody. This is this game's take on fast travel. Unlike the first game, this one has a sort of... I hesitate to use the word open world. First of all, because, you know, I'm fucking sick of open world bullshit. This one it's a sort of open world in the same way a Zelda would be, or the way, almost the way Silent Hill had it. The, what was it, Downpour, Silent Hill Downpour, where there's an open space and divergent quests, but with some, linear areas that progress the story. And it works really well. When I heard it was sort of open world and had side quests and stuff, I was curious, to say the least. But what really surprised me was how it adds to the game's scariness. That's been my experience so far. The fact that you are in this town, this digital town, that's why I say when it's Total Recall with zombies, is you're plugged into this network that has a whole bunch of people's brains in it. And it's a bit like that quest in Fallout 3, where there's that virtual town that people are trapped in. Except, as you can see here, slightly more zombies in this town than the fake one in Fallout 3. So this place, Union it's called, has gone wrong. The core has gone missing because it was powered by the heart of a forsaken child, almost quite literally. Here's me just sneaking up on a zombie. Bang! Bang in his fucking head! Didn't quite kill that one, so I missed with my gun a lot. There we go, hang on. That's better. And that might have killed it. That's the end of that. This is some early gameplay. I'm a bit better at it now than I was when I recorded this. Marginally. You may notice I used the burst pistol there, which you get from a pre-order. Now, sometimes, to save me time, I will get a game pre-ordered so I can preload it, so I can play it, immediately at launch. But my way of winning that little thing is I'll pre-order it like a couple of hours before it goes live, so that I get it preloaded, get it downloaded and stuff, get some bonuses, but the publisher doesn't really get anything out of it. They can't, it's not part of their pre-order, it's too late, Burst pistol. That's a burst pistol, that's the sound of me claiming a moral victory in a war that doesn't exist. So that's the hill I'm dying on, the hill that isn't there. I'm also smashing up some boxes. In this game, the crates are free. That's another one I'm quite pleased with. It's another aspect of this game I'm happy with. Plenty of boxes full of loot, and it's all there for the freeness, for the taking. I really should have just said for the taking. I don't know why. For the freeness isn't a phrase at all. Let's sneak up on this lumpy zombie and do him a stab. And splat in his heart, basically. And then, I don't know why I did that, but let's pick up some gunpowder, because there's crafting in the game. Light crafting elements. Very simple, very straightforward. Nothing to worry about too much. Don't have to panic there. Just you use various elements to make ammo and healing items. The game's taken a lot more inspiration from The Last of Us this time around. The last game played a lot more straightforward, like a bargain basement Resident Evil 4, with controls that really were not that good for Resident Evil, well, not even for a bargain basement Resident Evil 4. Really stuttered there. Anyway, they've taken some more elements from, as I say, The Last of Us. Some of that's present in the crafting. It's present in some of the one-hit kill melee weapons that are temporary use. And still kept that Resident Evil flavour at the same time, so it's a nice compromise. I've seen some people say the controls are still really balked and not that great. I don't know. They offer a new control scheme this time around that's sort of more, for those more familiar with third-person shooters, and it's the default option, so I went with that. And I've not really, I mean, it's a bit stodgy. Definitely a bit stodgy, and there are stupid zombie, doesn't know what it's fucking doing. Shitty zombie! Yeah. You better run. That church, by the way, I haven't got footage of it, but because I won't spoil it for it. If you don't know what's going on in that church, have a pop in there. There's a giggle going on inside there. So, you see the thing glowing on that pile of corpses over there? That's an axe. Those are one-hit kill weapons for most, at least most of the common zombies. They're useful if you need to deal with a corpse, well, a fake corpse, because there are some zombies lying around that are just blatantly zombies lying around. And you can't really do much about them with your normal survival knife. If you've got one of these axes, bang! Because unless you stealth them with the knife, it's not a one-hit kill, it just does minimal damage. But with the axe, and as you see here, I doubled up on my axes because I knew one was coming, so I used it on that guy. Then this one, bang! Yeah, fuck you. And then we get the green stuff, which you use to upgrade your character. Speaking of upgrades, if you're anything like me, you're going to get detected a lot with odds that massively outnumber you because you're not that careful. I would recommend upgrading the stamina. I'm not a fan of how a lot of stamina bars are implemented in games. The Souls series are one of the few exceptions to where I'm okay with the stamina stuff. Here I am again being just completely fucking unsubtle. And, oh yeah, fucking zombie innit? Shot him in the leg. I love games that do that. It harks back to Resident Evil 4 again, but I love a game that'll have the enemy react when I shoot it in the hand or the leg or whatever. Resident Evil 4 sort of was famous for doing a lot of that, but oh yeah, this is me. This is why I really immediately upgraded stamina, because I have to try and do a lot of outrunning of things. Usually because I end up with bottles in my hands when I'm trying to shoot. Sometimes when I'm trying to duck for stealth, I'll forget that it's clicking the right stick and I'll just press the circle button out of some muscle memory. I must have played some game recently where crouching was that, but anyway. I mean, this is tense. It's not highly skilled gameplay, but it's tense, right? But I really like it. Like I say, the open nature of it lends a real paranoia to the game's atmosphere, because these things can be anywhere and you're always hearing them. Just clicking and ticking and growling. Again, drawing shades to The Last of Us, some of the enemies sound a lot like clickers and things, and it lends them a real creepy vibe. Zombies are kind of overplayed, we all know that, but this one's done a good job of making them really quite unnerving and stuff. So here is a little bit of gameplay in the warehouse that contains one of my favourite bits so far. It wasn't a scripted, well, it's a scripted bit, but my reaction to it I'm really pleased with. But we've got clearly a pretend zombie over there, pretend body over there that's a zombie. We've got this zombie lady here that we're trying to get close enough to. You can get an upgrade that makes you move faster when you're crouching. I'm going to have to get that soon. But you need to collect a lot of that green stuff, which means a lot of killing enemies, which means a lot of getting yourself into trouble. It's an odd trade-off, because it's like many survival horror games. Oh, that was me just checking, make sure I got an axe. Like many survival horror games, it's almost like combat is discouraged. But to get better at the game and make some real progression and get that going, you, funny. I said the game is still a bit janky, but so far not in any game-breaking way. It's been just funny things like that, just silly moments. So I got this other hand axe, and then I know another enemy's around. The other enemy's aware I'm here. Got to operate this lift truck. And I said, there's no way I'm doing that, because a zombie will come and go, zombie, bang! Immediate with the axe. I was so happy with that. I was like, that is my finest hour in this game. So we're keeping a recording of that. That was just a fun moment. It was a scripted moment, but the reaction to it just gave it a sort of dynamic flavour that I found really quite gratifying. And so we're just closing off here just to show you a different enemy type. There are multiple enemies in the game, some of them really pissing annoying. My normal tactic with these ones is to try and run away, but they are quite fast. I also love the shotgun in this one. It's been quite literally a lifesaver many times. So yeah, these four-legged things. You get these tall women that look like they're multiple torsos stacked up, and they're all poisonous, and they spit things at you like they're very similar to spitters from Left 4 Dead. But anyway, we're closing out. The verdict: The Evil Within 2, better than the first. Good game.